This is the trade recap for today. This is literally how I got graped with a capital R. Um, I got graped on both sides on ES and Nasdaq, trying to short and long. My long position was honestly my fault, to be honest. Like my draws and liquidity was taken out. I had one more draw on liquidity that I wanted, but you're gonna see the reason why I got stopped out, and it was due to an emotion. Due to an emotion. An emotion played got the best out of me. I'm not gonna lie, which was 100% my fault. And shorting was pretty good, but price we're just in a fat range. Like I don't know what price was. Like now we're going up, but price was just in a whole range. And then again, to be honest, we had FOMC minutes, and I should have realized. Well, I'm gonna take a note of that now. That FOMC minutes. I'm probably not even gonna trade AM, to be honest, or probably just tape read AM, because big news like huge news like this just makes prices undecisive for AM. Like my original buys coming in today was bullish. I wanted to see a manipulation down into one of these liquidity draws and liquidity, and then from there we continue up higher for this draw and then this draw. But coming in market, we literally took out this draw instantly. I wanted previous day equilibrium as well as the top of this 4 hour order block right here, but alright, let's get right on into it because I'm just explaining it. So I was bullish coming into today. Originally bullish just mainly because of the hourly, like the way order flow was. First of all, we had, whoa, okay, we had this order block right here, this whole order block right here just being supported. Okay, like bro, what are we doing? Yeah, there's order block right here being supported. I mean, you could really count this as the order block being supported. We did that multiple times. We ended up coming back into it. We never closed out of it once. On top of that, we had this imbalance being respected, and it's still being respected, and we ended up getting buying pressure out of that. Um, Ended up having this little imbalance getting disrespected. You end up having this imbalance get disrespected, but that's just in turn to fill in this imbalance even more. And then with that, we continue on higher. Hourly trend is bullish, so I was bullish coming into today. Just look at order flow and then look at the draws and liquidity with that order flow, and it's pretty good. 4 hour. Excuse me. I noticed that we were in this 4 hour gap, and we are still in this 4 hour gap for the next 3 hours. Until we close out of it, like officially. But I noticed that we were in this 4 hour gap. But with the way that price was moving, I was honestly kind of not certain, but I was pretty hopeful that we would come in, in versus gap, and then hit mine draws and liquidity and balance out previous day equilibrium. So coming into today, starting on the 15 minute, we had this gap. I marked it out as an inversary rally gap because we actually ended up inversing it to literally take on my first draw, just like that. So, coming into today, we had this gap right here. We ended up inversing. Originally, I wanted price to come and manipulate down, maybe fill in more gaps, at least trying to be in like the discounted area of things. Because again, we were like overbought, so I wanted to be like in a discount, so I could long. Um, this is I'm gonna talk to you about my bullish bias because this is my short trade, but this is my bullish bias. Practically the same thing on ES. Um, but coming in today, we had this order block. Oh, not order block. Oh, sorry. But I was paying attention on Nasdaq, looking over at ES because I was trying to pay attention to Nasdaq because the Nasdaq really looked more cleaner. But coming into ES on the 5 minute, we had this order block. Um, well, right here. We had this order block. I mean, you could really count it from this wick right here, but I don't really count it. I just count the leg down. We had this order block being filled. Not filled. We had this order block being made. And then on top of that, we also had. Oh, excuse me. We didn't have nothing to the downside. Again, I wanted literally price to come and manipulate down so we can see up. We had these relatively equal lows that I honestly wanted price to seek out, but I guess they weren't strong enough due to the fact that like the over trends are telling us to continue higher. We also had these equal highs that I noticed for a drawn liquidity, and I kind of thought that okay, price is gonna want to probably take those out, but I was like, okay, that'll be kind of good if we manipulate down, and then these equal highs could be just be one of my draws in liquidity. And that is exactly what we did do, but we didn't do it in the way I wanted to. Price literally just came up. Within the first 5 minutes, price just was just making this order block, and then we broke out of the order block, and then from there, price ended up taking out these equal highs. Uh, on the third 5 minute candle, but we ended up taking out these equal highs, and my first draw on liquidity which would have been right here if we were longing. But with the way price was, we ended up creating a 5-minute PD area, which was this gap right here, and then whoa, excuse me. Okay, sorry, not that gap. We ended up creating this 5-minute gap right here. Okay, I must have to clear out my freaking chart because I don't really need it. I don't really need anything anymore. But we ended up creating this gap right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. This gap right here. On Nasdaq, however, we did not make the gap. It was just straight up like the gap was just not being made. So we made the gap. We made the imbalance on ES. It's a little not marked out properly, but you know what I mean. Made the gap on ES. We ended up coming in filling it even more. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's literally about to be the start of the macro. We ended up after we finished filling this, it was the start of the macro. So I was like, okay, we're probably bullish, and we're probably gonna want to continue to the second draw on liquidity again, and then we're probably gonna want to come to previous day equilibrium, and potentially this start of this 4-hour gap. So I was like, okay, let's get down to the 3-minute. Let's see, do we have any inversions on the 3-minute? And we did not. We ended up creating this little gap right here on the 3-minute right here. Whoa, okay. We ended up creating this gap right here on the 3-minute, and we ended up coming into it and selling out of it. So I was like, okay, that's cool, that's calm. Then scaled down to the 1-minute because we're respecting 5-minute and 3-minute order flow. Usually on 3-minute, I usually look for an inversion, but if we're respecting order flow, I just wait, stay patient. This is where I messed up hard. So coming in, this is so bad. So coming into today, well, not today, coming into the 1-minute, I noticed right off the jump we had these equal lows. This has happened to me multiple times by backtesting. I let emotions get the best of me. That is 100% my fault. We had these equal lows. On top of that, we had this breaker block. On top of that, we had this gap right here. What I wanted price to do, excuse me. And on top of that, we were not in equilibrium. We were way over the discount. News came out, and news was bullish. I don't know how it was bullish when it was good for currency, but then again, because how everything is crashing, if it's technically bearish news, it's gonna be bullish news because if it's good for currency, the currency is crashing right now. So that kind of makes sense, unless I'm wrong. If someone in the comments can correct me if you guys make it this far, but yeah. News came out, instant bull. I was like, okay, we created this gap. I was like, let's wait. Let's wait. Unfortunately, I did not wait enough, so that's why I said emotions got the best of me. We had these equal lows right here. I was like, okay, let's wait for these equal lows to get taken out. My original thought was, let's just wait for these equal lows to get taken out, and then let's see what we want to do. That was my original thing. Like I was like, okay, let's just wait for these equal lows to come out, and let's just see what we want to do. I did not do that because we had this gap breaker and equilibrium. I was like, you know what? If we just retrace into all of them, I'll enter instead of waiting for these lows to get taken out. If I had just waited for these lows to get taken out, I would have been literally just reconsidering my bias and just looking, okay, why is prices dumping all of a sudden? And yeah, I entered right here. My stop was right here, and my first take profit would have honestly been, well, my entry was not this low. I'm not gonna lie to you. My entry was like around like right here. Hold on, let's see. 540, 5040. Oh no, I'm tripping. It's buy because I was long. So 5062, 5062. Okay, right here. So this was honestly my original plan. I wanted to have previous day equilibrium taken out as well as the beginning of this 4-hour right here, as well as the beginning of this 4-hour gap. Technically right here, but I wanted the body of it because usually we'll reach for a body. We did not get that at all. Uh, break even would have been this equilibrium. I mean, not equilibrium. Break even would have been this drawn with this 5-minute liquidity right here, and from there I would have let my runners run, and then obviously I would have trailed stops. So the way it would have been, I would have trailed stops till we got to this first break even, and then we continued higher. Um, this is pretty unfortunate to be honest. Let's go down to the 1 minute. As you can see, literally within like the same candle I entered, I got well second candle I entered. Well, this candle I entered because we literally tapped into all of these confluences and we were pulling back up. I was like, okay, you know what? It's entry. No, second candle, boom, stopped out literally shortly after. Um, literally, if I was just patient, a couple more seconds. It's unfortunate, but it's the way of the game. I just not know just to be patient. If I was just patient, I would have waited for these longs. I mean, I would have waited for these equal lows to get taken out because these hold a very strong sense of liquidity. Very strong sense of liquidity. So I was like, you know what? If I just waited a couple more seconds, price would have dumped heavily, and then we broke structure on the 5 minute. I would have just waited, like literally just clear on waited. I probably still would have taken the loss because shorts, I'm about to explain, would have been nice, but I mean, yeah, that's how I lost. Longs, shorts, literally after we broke out of the structure, we had this bearish order block as well. Until then, we also broke out of the 5 minute range. So from there, I scaled down to the 3 minute. We were consolidating. Mistake number one, I shouldn't have just taken anything if we were just consolidating on the lower time frames. On the 1 minute, we literally had a fill of this gap, and my stops were, excuse me, my stops was literally above this gap, which was honestly retarded. Genuinely speaking, was honestly retarded. So this one was totally on me. This one was just like more my fault. I should have just waited. But this one, I thought it was clean. Maybe the stops could have been worse. Maybe the stops could have been like higher. Fill could have been better. But overall, I probably still would have gotten stops. Just because we broke out of the range, I wanted to see these relatively equal loads get tapped. Um, I don't think I don't think we'll draw. I didn't think we were gonna draw all the way down to these lows. I didn't think we were gonna draw all the way down to these lows. That would have been crazy, especially with the fact that we were just consolidating after we took out my draws and liquidity. And I really should have noticed that, which is again my fault. Um, but yeah, notes to self that I'm gonna journal and actually write down like what stuff that I messed up on. Patience, number one was patience. I should have waited. Genuinely, I think it was like 30 seconds left to see what price wanted to do. 30 seconds, and then from there, if I had waited, this whole trade probably would have been prevented, honestly. Um, and then here I generally thought it was clean. We had a 5 minute break, 5 minute break at 10:10. Scale on to the 1 minute. Let me see what time or this gap got filled. Um, 10:16. So overall, bad trade by me. I think this trade was a pretty good one. However, it's just the fact that I just was not patient. So that's pretty unfortunate. I should have just been patient. This whole trade probably would have been avoided. This whole trade was definitely my fault. Stop loss was my fault. But yeah, emotions got the best of me and just not really waiting, which was honestly my fault. But I mean, it's part of the game. We're literally just in a huge range because of FOMC minutes. I should have noticed that, okay, after we take out my draws and liquidity, which were probably honestly the important ones of the day because we just took out my draws. And I don't even think we even hit previous day equilibrium on Nasdaq. So I don't know why all of a sudden we do this and we just hit some big reversal. Like genuinely, that kind of got me messed up. But nonetheless, I do think we will hit previous day equilibrium. I generally do think we want to balance out this whole range, but right now we're just consolidating and whatever this is going on right now. So I mean, yeah, GG's, GG's only. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. I'm gonna make a couple of TikToks literally just talking about how I got graped. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.